Would you bet on yourself? If you put yourself in any situation, would you have the confidence, the trust to do it? Would you trust yourself enough to complete it, to know that you're gonna complete it? And this is a huge thing for a lot of us. A lot of us don't trust our abilities, trust ourselves, and don't know if we can do it for many reasons. As in my own experience, it came down to not knowing myself enough, not believing I can do it, not having the self-esteem to accept it, not being able to say I'm gonna do it regardless if I fail. That sort of confidence and trust where you can put yourself in any situation and you're gonna get it done. You're gonna accomplish what you set out to do, whether it's an action, dreams, habits, things you wanted to do. Because we all have something out here for all of us. We all do. We all have something that is meant for us. We just have to find it. We just have to accept it as it is. And it could be for many reasons, First off, why don't you? If you don't trust yourself, if you don't believe you can do it, if you don't have that confidence, why? Is it because of how you look? You're not your looks. You aren't. You're more than that. That's just a part of you, and that's just physical. Is it because you don't think you can do it? That's just a belief. You can change that. That's just a belief, a thought you have of yourself. We're constantly changing. You can change to become that kind of person who accepts it. And for a lot of us, it may be just the idea that we have always acted in that way, Let's say, for example, you want to go to the gym, but you're too scared. You're thinking people are gonna judge me. People are gonna say this and that. You're so caught up in your own mind of things that could happen, but when in reality probably aren't. You create all these scenarios in your head that realistically aren't bound to happen. You think in a worst case scenario. And even so, if it does happen, you can create a solution for it. You can prepare yourself and just learn what it is that is holding you back, what it is that is stopping you, and just confront it head on. That's all you can do. Just confront it. And then you keep confronting these challenges that you think are challenges, when in reality it's just a minor inconvenience at a certain point. And at some point you don't even realize it. At some point you outgrew the problem as you're putting yourself out there. As experience is the most important thing. Experience and the openness to accept if we're wrong and grow from it, That sort of curiosity and even the anxiety that comes with it. It's like, it's something new. I don't know if I can do it, but you do it regardless. And you can feel proud of yourself for doing it. Like, congrats, honestly, congrats. If you're putting yourself out there for new experiences, for new things, you start to depend on yourself on more and more and more. And personally, it was little things that built up over time. Just going against myself, putting myself in that uncomfortable position, whether it was talking to people, whether it was trying new things out, hobbies, activities, circumstances, environments, just being open to any and all of it. And that's how you have to be. You have to allow yourself to expand, in a way where it's like, it's uncomfortable. Of course it's gonna feel weird. Of course, it's new, it's something you haven't experienced. It would seem off if it didn't feel weird. It would be off if, you felt comfortable. But through that uncomfort and that, anxiety and that sort of feeling, you continue to push past it, and over time, you get used to it. You get used to it. That's the whole thing. And in that getting used to it, it's like we become more, we expand, if that's the best way I can put it, you know? And we are constantly changing, we are constantly growing, improving, and it's like, okay, I tried that new thing out, now let me try this other new thing, you know? And you keep stacking all these things, whether it's just small little habits. It can be small little habits. You could start journaling, you could start reading, you can start exercising, you can start meditating, you can start all these activities. And it doesn't even have to be that. It could be just drawing, painting, making music, whatever interests you, or whatever you said you wanted to do, whatever you wanted to do, you know? It could be talking to a girl, a guy. Go out and do it. Now, if you get rejected or not, okay, that is not in your control for the most part. But you went up there, you put yourself out there. Just whether you get rejected or not, doesn't matter. Does not matter. As you're gonna keep going. Just put yourself in new experiences. Just allow yourself to grow and learn, become wise in an aspect. And it's like the whole idea of like self-trust, improvement. It really starts all within. It starts within who you believe you are, you know, or who you let other people say you are. Because if you let people judge and dictate who you are, then you're only limited to what they say, you know. You're only limited to what they believe about you. And if they say you aren't that, are you gonna accept it as it is? Are you gonna accept it as it is? Are you gonna say it's true if they said it? Because you know deep down if it's true or not. You know it is, or you know it isn't. But in that same instance, you can realize you can change yourself. You can change who you are. So we are always creating ourselves, and that's an idea I love. We are always creating ourselves. Who are you? I'm figuring out every single day. Every single thought, action, intention, and direction I choose to go is all because I wanted to. And it's okay to take advice. It's okay to let people, help you. Perfectly fine. Because they may know something you don't. They may know something you don't. And with that, it's like a hole just being cleared. Think of it like you're in a house, okay? And you see just droplets leaking. And it's like that's a hole in your idea or your vision or your thoughts, where it's like you never thought about it. But now you can just put like a bucket and it'll just be in a way patched up. It'll fix. I feel like a better term would be, you just repair it, right? And you allow yourself just to find all the holes, find all the leaks, just to fix it. Become more whole or full, The whole point of just betting on yourself, gamble on yourself in a way. You may not know the outcomes, the odds, but you're willing to do it. You're okay with doing it. By any means necessary, you put your mind to it, you say you're gonna do it, and you have integrity to do what you say you do, and you do it. It may take time to build up, but that's okay. As long as you allow yourself to just experience all that there is, you'll start to trust yourself. And even so, it's like, why don't you trust yourself? Only you know. Ask yourself, why don't you trust yourself? Why? And is that true? Is it true? Because let's say, for example, easy example, it's like, let's say you want to do well for a test, but you think you aren't smart. Is that true? No. We're all smart. And even so, you can put some effort into studying to understand the problems. It's a problem and a solution. And you are limiting yourself by believing you can't do something. The longer you hold yourself back, life's gonna continue. Life is gonna continue with or without you. Now, you have to make the choice. Do you want more for yourself, or do you just want what is? And are you okay with just what is? What do you have at the moment? Who you are right now? Are you okay with that? And if you are, by all means, take this with a grain of salt. In one end of the spectrum, it's like you trust yourself regardless. You believe yourself. You believe in yourself, and you'll do anything you want to. That's the sort of confidence many people would wish they could have. Many people wish they could have that, and you can have it. You can. It's a process. It takes time, but it's okay. As long as you know you're experiencing life, experiencing new things, expanding yourself, expanding your comfort zone. And that's the whole thing too, comfort zone. Because look, the reason you may not even trust yourself is because your comfort zone is small. It may be small because you haven't experienced enough. You haven't put yourself out there. You've been holding yourself back because of the belief of other people, of what they might have said about you. And you took as true. You may have said, okay, that's true. So many people have told me that. But it's not true. You just decided it was. And you can change it. Even so, it's like, why would you believe them? They aren't with you 24/7. They are not always with you. They are not always with you. Who's with you the most? You. Who's with you when you go to sleep? You. Who's with you when you wake up? You. Who's going in with you to your casket, to your grave? It's you. It's always been you. It's always been yourself. So trust yourself. Believe in yourself. Who's in charge of whose life? You're in charge of your own life. Take it. Take the opportunity. Take the chance. Take it. Just take it all, in a way. That's what gambling is. You're putting yourself out there to take everything that comes with it. You know? And I guess, how would you start? I mean, obviously ask yourself, why don't you? Why don't you believe in yourself? What's the reason? Second is, prove it wrong. Prove it wrong. That's literally what it is. Proving yourself wrong. That the self that holds you back. Proving that idea of yourself wrong. That's the whole point. Proving the self that you believe that is holding you back. Prove it wrong. And create a self where it's like anything you want, you can achieve. You can achieve. It's a powerful state of mind. It all starts within the brain. It all starts within the mind. Who do we perceive ourselves as? And it takes time. And you have to be open and willing. Open and willing. By open, I mean just allow anything and everything that comes with it. The good, the bad, whatever we think is good and bad, you know. Good and bad to who? Why? And just live life to how you want. Everything all comes back to how do you want to live? How do you want to be? Who do you want to be? As we are constantly growing in whatever direction, we're constantly moving in whatever direction. And if you hold yourself back, if you constantly hold yourself back, you are building up that idea of yourself that can't do anything, that can't make a change. That doesn't mean you can't change. Like, it's an awareness where it's like, okay, sure, I may have held myself back from X, Y, and Z, from achieving A, B, and C. It's like, that's all in the past. It's literally all in the past. So who's to say, you know, that is true? Who's to say that's true now? As I am in the present, it is now. Who's to say what happened in the past is who I am now? And it's like, you could literally be like 25 believing you are the same kind of person you are when you were 16. It's crazy, because it's like, do you do you want to live like the person you were at 16, 15, 14, 12, 11, however old you may have been? And just the actions you do reinforce that idea of who you are, or who you want to be, or how you act. But other than that, I'm gonna just leave it off there. Obviously, I'd enjoy it if something resonated with you, obviously. But this was honestly more like a rant. It felt more like a rant, if anything else. But even so, I felt like it was something I needed to get off my chest. And that being said, dreamers, turning dreams into reality. Love you.